Welcome to our Bhagvath Gita Simple Understanding Discussions, episode number 60. So today we'll be discussing text number 6.22 to 6.25. Before that, I would like just to read the text of previous verses so that there's a kind of continuity. Basically, this chapter is dealing with Dhyana Yoga. So few text from previous text I'll be reading. यथा दीपो निवास्तो नेङ्गाते सोपमा स्मृतः योगिनो यत चित्तस्य युञ्जते योगमात्मनः. As a flame does not flicker in a windless place, such is stated to be the picture of the disciplined mind of the yogi practicing meditation. Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yogo sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyantatmani tushyati. The state in which the chitta, mind stuff subdued through the practice of yoga, becomes completely tranquil, and in which realizing God through subtle reasoning purified by meditation on God, the soul rejoices only in God. Sukatmat chittam sukamatyantikam yat buddhi dagrahamatindriyam veti yatra na chaivayam stita, in which the soul experiences the internal and super senses joy, which can be intuited only through the subtle and purified intellect, and wherein established the said yogi moves not from truth on any account. So these are the translation slokas which we had discussed in last class. I think you can just go to the previous recording. So now in this recording I will be starting from 6.2. So basically the briefing is that when an yogi starts this Dhyana Yoga process, he completely indulges himself in God. He becomes his thoughts becomes completely drowned in the ocean of consciousness, God consciousness, and he thinks nothing than God and God, his activities. So that is how the explanation is there. Now continuing, we'll see what are the other points to be discussed. Okay. Yam labdva cha param labham manyate nadikam tataha yasmin sthito na dukkhena guruna pi vichalyate. So what it means is, like here I'll read the text also, translation also. And having obtained which he does not reckon any other gain as greater than that, and establishing which is not shaken even by the heaviest of sorrows. Now what is happening here is, when an yogi sits for Dhyana Yoga and he starts concentrating on God, and once he realizes God or Lord, he starts forgetting everything about this world. Okay, and once this happens, the translation is, he does not reckon anything other gain as greater than that. Means once a yogi gains that samadhi state, or once he gains that ultimate stage where he becomes engrossed or one with the consciousness of God, or he starts enjoying the spiritual bliss of God's knowledge, bhakti, etc., he sees that there is nothing greater than that. He sees that whatever he has achieved or whatever is to be achieved in this material world are all negligible in front of the sukha what he has gained. Ultimately, see, it's not a one day game where a person sits for dhyana and immediately achieves this. A person to come to this stage would have undergone lot of processes in his previous lives also and in this life also, because he has undergone so much of struggle and things. He is able to come to this path. Once he comes to this path, once he starts enjoying the results of this path, once he starts enjoying the sweetness and the gains in this path, he sees that whatever he has achieved previously, or whatever anybody could achieve more than him, or whatever he would have achieved if he had not come to this path, everything seems to be very tuchya, very decimal, right? And such a person established in which is not shaken even by the heaviest of sorrows. So the first sentence we have explained that a person, when he gains this Dhyana Yoga, or when he finds the ultimate result of this Dhyana Yoga, or when he achieves God's blessings, either in Sankhya type or in Bhakti type, wherever it might be, he will enjoy the ultimate truth. He sees that there is nothing greater than this. At the same time, when he's in that stage, he also experience that he will not be shaken even by the heaviest of sorrows. Why heaviest of sorrows? Why there is no word heaviest of happiness? Because this world is full of dukkha. See, happiness will shake us, it excites us, but dukkha gives more pain. If you see happiness, we may enjoy happiness any moment, any achievement we do, that is a momentary. We will enjoy that for say 24 hours for or maximum 48 hours. We'll be in that excitement stage for only few days or few hours. But something sorrow happens, we see sometimes people go into depression and they are in depression for more than months together or years together also. Or shock, when shock happens, when people die out of heart attacks. So that is why Krishna gives the word heaviest of sorrows. Okay, so a person is not shaken by heaviest of sorrows. One thing is, this world is material world is full of dukkas will be there, some kind or the other trouble will be there. At the same time, the heaviest of trouble is like somebody leaving, somebody dear leaving and going, somebody in the joint, it might be a friend or it might be a relative or it might be a blood thing, that somebody death may happen or somebody has to leave the thing and go, he loses some property or he loses some profits, whatever it might be. Even such kind of heaviest of sorrows will not shake such a person. When a person who's attained God or godly characters, or when he has achieved his success in dhyana yoga or bhakti yoga or sankhya yoga, whatever yoga, when he becomes transcendental, such a person doesn't get shaken by his sorrows, because one thing is mentally fully engrossed in this to the Lord. Second thing is, as in the previous line we see that, upper line we see that nothing becomes important as God. Okay, so that's how the person will not be shaken by the heaviest of sorrows. This is one of the sign a person to identify a person as transcendental or a person a yogi. This is the sign he doesn't get shaken or doesn't get emotional about whatever he loses or he might lose or whatever sorrow he may occur. So that's the important point. Going forward, 6.23 tam vidyad dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga samjittam sa nischayena yoktvayo yogo anirvina chetasaha. The state called yoga, which is free from the contact of sorrow in the form of transmigration, should be known. Nay, this yoga should be resolutely practiced with an unweird mind. So again, continuing, the previous text explained how a person in that stage, a person who has attained the yoga stage reacts. In this more light on it. Okay, the statement says the state called yoga, which is free of sorrow in the form of transformation, should be known. So it's a kind of definition. So when we say what is yoga, the yoga definition is the person is not affected by sorrow. That is transmigration. Is it might be, see, the word transmigration generally we mean in spirituality is a person when he leaves the body and goes and accepts another body. It's called as a death. So transmigration, this can also be applied to various other elements, like we possess something, like we build a house, at some point the house will go, or we will leave the house and go, or we marry a wife or husband, or we beget children, we have parents, and at the same time, all these things, at one point or the other we must leave them and go. It's a law. Similarly, like name, status, positions, jobs, etc., at one point we have to leave it and go. So in this way, so the word transmigration can be expanded into so many things, because these are all material as a beginning and as an end. Anything which has a beginning and it has to have an end in this material world. So when it has a beginning, we have happiness, we feel joy. But the same thing after a period of time leaves us and go, we feel sorrow due to its leaving our thing and going off. Because it is leaving us and going, it might be in whatever state, we feel sorrow, right? It may be death, it may be loss, it may be some earthquake snatches away our belongings, so it may leave and go. At that time we feel sorrow. So what the word is, a person when is in yoga is not affected by this process of something leaving us and going, because this material world, it has to leave us and go. It will happen, and we should be prepared for that, and we should not be attached to anything. That is what it means. So that is what the word yoga means, that a person is not affected by sorrow, contact of sorrow. Nay, again, the yoga should be resolutely practiced with an unweird mind. It means the yoga, this process, like whatever we have understood for last this 20 shlokas, like how we should be sit and how we should concentrate on God, all those things. This yoga should be practiced with an unweird mind. Unweird mind means undisturbed mind. So the reason, like whatever we have studied in the previous shlokas, that a person should go to a forest, Himalayas, etc., sit in such and such a posture, such and such an, should make an environment in such a way, and do his the meditation, all those things. What explained is with an unweird mind. So this thing should be practiced. Unweird means without any confusion, without any disturbance. So all these processes are followed so that there is no disturbance, so there is no boredom. In essence, like when a person starts doing an activity, after sometimes he feels bored, and he might try to give it up, or he might try to change the thing. Such things should not happen. A person should do in a disciplined manner, continued to be in that state of mind, and should continue to do all the principles of this yoga, like every day taking time, sitting in certain position, concentrating on the Lord, on the four-handed form of the Lord. So all these things should be done without any unweird, without any deviation, without any disturbance. So this is a kind of explanation or kind of direction given how to perform the yoga. Now by doing this, what happens, again we will explain here. I have combined the two texts for our understanding. First I'll read the text. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tattva sarvana sheshatah manasevendriyagram viniyamya samantatah shanaihi shanairuparmeda buddhya dhritigrihyya atmasamstam manah kritva na kinchidapi chintayat. I'll read the translation. Completely renouncing all desires arising from worldly thoughts and carving, and fully restraining all the senses from all sides of the mind, you should, through gradually practice, attain tranquility, and fixing the mind on God through reason, controlled by steadfastness, you should not think of anything else. So basically, what is the result of being achieved in yoga by doing Dhyana yoga was already explained in the previous text. Here again affirmation is given, like what an yoga means. So previously God explained that, or Krishna explained that by doing yoga you attain all these things, etc., he attains such things. That's what explained in the previous shlokas. He attains tranquility, he attains that mind becomes as steady as a flame without any flickering, all those things. Now again affirmation is there. Yoga means what? Yoga means this thing should be attained and how it should be attained. So that is explained here. So here Krishna says, completely renouncing all desires arising from worldly thoughts. This is because thoughts are always there. Even the person may leave his home, everything, and go in a secluded place, a temple, a forest, a Himalaya, a riverbed, whatever. He may sit and do his sadhana or do his meditation, but still there is and always a chance of our previous desires arising out. This is called as vasana. Just like I may tell, like if you pour ghee in a pot and keep it for some days and remove the whole ghee after few days and clean the vessel, how much ever you clean the vessel and keep it in a side, still you find that some kind of smell will remain in that pot, right? I'm just giving an example. Some kind of stickiness or some kind of smell will remain in that pot. So that is called vasana. Similarly, same way in our life also, or in a yogi life, when he takes up the yoga and he wants to give up all his karmic activities and he wants to give up all his desires and follows this process for many years, still there is always a chance of this vasana sitting in his back of mind. That's why we see many yogis fall down after following for many years. So Krishna says that, and perfect yogi should remove this vasanas also, should remove this kind of all desires from the bottom of the art. This can happen only when we take up an higher taste. That was explained in the chapter 2. Okay, continuing, and carving and fully restraining all the senses from all sides of by the mind. So finally Krishna what he sums up is that a person who is doing this jnana yoga should completely give up his desires from the thought level, from the carvings. Carvings means a person experience. You have seen, like, even after sadhus, no, they give up everything in the life and everything till they carve for some good food, they carve for some nice meal. So that means still they are attached to some kind of desire. That's what we mean. So that carvings also should come out, and fully restraining all the senses from all sides of the mind. That means we shouldn't give any chance for these desires to creep in through our mind through any of the senses. See, generally all these desires enter into our body through these five senses, that is ears, nose, tongue, skin, smell, etc. So all these five senses should be controlled in such a way that none of these desires enter them. What we like to see is a beautiful object, so the eye should be protected from getting deviated to such a desire. And the nose, it always likes to smell something beautiful, some good smell of the flower. Basically it is an inducing sexual thought inducing process, so that also should be protected. Same way ears, you shouldn't hear something which ignites our sexual thoughts. So in this way, not only sex, it also means like any enjoyment related to property, or enjoyment related to family life, or enjoyment related to some gossip, whatever it might be. So generally it enters to these five senses. So that's what Krishna means, is that in yogi who wants to achieve perfection should protect his mind by these sense objects from not entering to through their senses. The next shloka, what happens, how to, now by doing this what happens, is going to explain. You should through gradual practice attain tranquility, and fixing the mind on God through reason, controlled by steady partners. You should not think of anything else. That is, you should through gradual practice attain tranquility. Tranquility is one who is not affected by happiness or sorrow, or cold or heat, or ups and downs, all those things. So the tranquility should be attained by gradual practice. It doesn't come within one day. So that's how it is told as gradual. Shanahi shane ruparameda buddhaya dhruti grihitaya, means step by step. Shanahi shanahi, slow by slow, step by step. Okay, shanahi means step. Shanahi, two times it is used. Ruparmedha buddhaya, buddhaya is intelligence. Okay, so that's all. The words are clear. Dhruti grihitaya. Okay, atma samstatam manaha. Atma samstatam, the foundation becomes strong. Okay, let's not go into word to word meaning, but we'll understand the whole idea behind it. You should through gradual practice attain tranquility and fix the mind on God through reason. Buddhaya, that is the word is used. Buddhaya, atma Ruparmeda buddhaya. So one should not blindly accept, one should reason. After getting satisfied with the reason, then get into the process. So that's how Krishna says one should apply his intelligence also. Then continue, controlled by steadfastness means it's not that we make a progress and stagnate there. The progress should be made, and continuous progress should be made, and we should move on with it, not get settled, because we are going to we're going to fight with a mountain. Mountain is nothing but the Maya. So we can't say that just by breaking a small stone we have achieved our goal. No, we have to break the mountain. So small, step by step, we have to keep breaking the obstacles and then keep progressing. So that's how Krishna says you should through gradual practice attain tranquility, and fixing the mind on God through reason, controlled by steady partners. You should not think of anything else. By doing this, the previous shloka, what is it? That is vasanas, they creep in. No? So that shouldn't creep in. That happens only by gradual practice. By gradual practice, by becoming stronger, slower by slower, we should stop thinking of anything else, but of only concentrating our bhakti, or sankhya, or devotion, or dhyana towards God, and we should get strong in it. So that's how the explanation is given. Hence we will stop this class, and in the future we will see what are the more points explained by him. The whole this whole chapter will be about Dhyana Yoga, so we'll be understanding more points on it. So we'll be ending. Thank you very much.